I'll tell you this, I am loving this new pen, which I just bought from Amazon, and it's a brush pen. If you've never tried one of these, you should. I think it's Japanese, and it's got a brush, and all the ink is in this bit here, and once you screw that in, you have to, you have to check out how to do it. It's a bit tricky, but once you turn that and squeeze that, the ink is just flowing into it, so you don't need to dip it into anything. I think there's YouTube stuff with some Korean guy, and I'm sure he uses these, and he does these giant drawings that fill up like 10 times this piece of paper, just freehand, of amazing things. And to be honest, I've forgotten the name. It's one of those difficult to pronounce Korean names, like Kim. I'll try and find it. But this is, I mean, these are not expensive either. They're about, from Amazon, I think about $6.30. And I'm just experimenting with this face. I ordered another one. This is the medium. This is the medium brush. I also ordered the fine point. So that should be coming today. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, if you are looking just to do drawing, ink drawing, and some of you are asking about the second painting, and you know, if you haven't bothered to buy the paint yet, I guess the next best thing you're going to have to do is just a really elaborate drawing, you know, with lots of work, and spend time on it, and get it really so amazing that it's almost as good as a painting. But hopefully all the rest of you bought the stuff. I think they've actually sold out now in Blick, because it was such a good bargain that students just bought it very quickly. Anyway, that is a Japanese brush pen by Pentel. And this week we are going to do a quiz. Color and the human eye. So I'm going to talk about a few things, and hopefully, you know, it all makes sense. And I will type out the questions so that you know what kind of questions I'm asking. Let me get this. So, hi, that's it. First things first. We're going to look at the first question, which is the primary colors. Yeah, squeeze it again. Primary. Come on, right? Can you see that? Primary. One of the worst things about America is that, I mean, they took the language of Britain, English, but then they changed the spelling. So we spell it C-O-L-O-U-R-S. I know you miss out the U here. Primary colors, okay? So a lot of you will know this, but there's quite a few students in this class who are haven't had any art classes at all, as far as I can make out. So we're going to look at the three primary colors first of all. Now, they're called primary colors because you cannot take two different colors and mix them. So you can't mix, here we'll start with one. You can't take yellow. Can you see that? You can't take two colors and mix them together and create yellow. It's a prime colour, it only exists by itself. So there's the first one. First prime colour is yellow. And there's another one that you can't mix up, and that is red. You can all see this okay? It's always a bit fidgety kind of getting the camera at the right angle. But this is second primary colour, red. Okay, everyone there? See, it's not very complicated. And then the third primary colour. A lot of you are sitting there going, oh, come on, we know this. We got this in junior school, but there are quite a lot of you who didn't seem to get anything. So the third primary colour is blue. Okay, so that's the primary colours, red, red, blue and yellow. Okay, that's your three primary colours. Right. So after we understand that these are the primary colours, red, blue, red, yellow and blue, then we have the secondary colours, which are made up from mixing two of the primary colours together. So if you mix red and yellow, you get orange. There we are, come on orange. So there's orange. There it is. That's a secondary colour, orange. Another secondary colour is if you mix blue and yellow. Can you see that? Green. Secondary colour, orange, green, and now the third secondary colour, which is mixing blue and red. Let's see if we can get this out. So blue and red are going to make a kind of violet, like a deep purple. Okay, so there's the basics of the start of colour, understanding colour. Three primary colours, yellow, red, blue, and three secondary colours, green, orange, and violet, purple, deep purple. Okay? Just spilled some paint on the floor. Yeah. Occupational hazard of artists. So there you are, primary colours and secondary colours. Now, if you ever want to do an experiment at home, this is quite interesting. Take a circle like that on a piece of paper. Just use your computer printing paper if you have some, or any old paper. Then, if you stare at the yellow circle, just stare at it for a little while, as long as you like, and then you put a white card in front of it like that, you'll see an after image. I hope this makes sense. You'll see an after image, and the after image will be the opposite colour of yellow. So if I look at yellow for a while, and then I put that on there, I get a blue after image. I can see that now. It's great. And the opposite, if I take a blue circle, like that, stare at it for a while, dun, 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 staring, 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 and then I cover it up and put a blank over it, and then look at the after image. You know, the after image is what's, you know, you look at a bright window and then you close the curtains, you'll get a kind of after image inside your eyes. It's that kind of thing. So the after image, let me do this properly. So if I look at a blue circle, hello blue, how are you? I'm looking at you, I'm looking at you, I'm doing this weird thing. And then I look at that, I can see a yellow circle as the after image. So those are the opposite colours, and your brain is doing that automatically. So the brain is also working with colours all the time. Without you doing anything, it's automatically creating an opposite colour. So that's what happens when you look at a circle and then look at a blank, you will see the opposite colour. So that's something also interesting about colour experience. So you are okay with that? Those are the primary colours, yellow, red and blue, and those are the secondary colours, green, orange and violet, or deep purple. Okay? So I'm going to move on. Now you'll all know the colours of the rainbow, you know. They are, if you need an easy way to remember them, and in the order they go, the acronym ROY, R-O-Y, that's his name. His middle name is G, B, it's a weird name, I-B, I-V, I mean, B-I-V, okay? Roy, G, B-I-V, and that stands for the colours of the rainbow, which are red, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. R-O-Y-G-B-I-V. Roy G. Biv. So the colours of the rainbow go from warm, orange is warm, yellow is warm, and then they start to go cooler. You can see that's mixing the yellows and the blues here, so it's going cooler, cooler, more cool, and very cool. Okay, so R-O-Y, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And those are colours of the rainbow. So it's an easy way to remember it. And of course the rainbow colours are made up of light going through tiny pieces of water, molecules of water. That's why you only see them after a rainstorm. And the light reflects inside the water and it breaks up into its components. And that's why you see a rainbow. So that's a rainbow. Rain, you need rain, and bow is the shape. Bow. Red, orange, yellow. So it goes like that. So everyone understands that? Yeah. R-O-Y-G-I-B, R-O-Y-G-B-I-V, Roy G. Biv. The sharp is working better. Roy G. B-I-V. Okay, that's easy enough. That's the rainbow. Now, in the human eye, there are two parts of our eyes which look at things. One is seeing colour. If you think in the eye, these are kind of like only things that will be seen by looking, you know, with a microscope into the eye. So you're looking at the tiny, tiny, tiny components of the eye. And the parts that see colour are called cones. Cones see colour. Okay, I'm kind of being generalized about it, but the cones will see colour. Okay. And also in the microscopic parts of the eye, there are things here. There's more of them than there are the cones. There's hundreds and thousands, millions of them probably. I've never counted them. I've got to admit I've never seen them because it's microscopic, but these things are like long rods, and so they are called rods. And what do they see? Well, they see black and white. So if you're in a room and the lights suddenly shut off for momentarily, you won't be able to see anything, and that's the eyes adjusting from using the cones to using the rods, and it takes a few seconds, and that you can feel it as an adjustment of the eyes from one thing to another. And the rods, you know, there'll be a little bit of colour seen, but it'll mainly be kind of like very kind of, you know, reduced light, and that's your rods working. So that's a simplified way of talking about it, that the cones see colour and the rods see black and white. It's kind of just simplified for artists, but it's easy to understand. Okay, so those are the microscopic parts of the eye. Of course, the eye is interesting because you know, if you have somebody walking along here, there he is, and he's seen, there's somebody's eye, two guys watching this guy. So at the back of the eye, you know, in the mechanism of the eye, the screen of the eye, that person, it's a lens, you know, like in a camera, the eye. So that person in the eye is actually seen upside down. You know, when the eye puts it through there, it actually is upside down, which is kind of weird to think about. Now, the eye, of course, is connected to the brain. There are these bits and pieces there, so I'm going to stick the brain in here. So it's a giant eye. So the brain, you know, with all these connections of the eye to the brain, it reverses it, so by the time you see things, thank God, the man is the right way around. But the actual eye itself sees things upside down. The brain turns it back round the other way. What I'm trying to get across is that your brain is doing a lot of work automatically. It sees opposite colours, it turns this picture round the right way so you're not seeing things upside down. You know, and if somebody got brain damage, I've heard of a case, and the guy did see everything upside down. They had to do something with special glasses to make him see things normally. So that's a brain attached to an eye, if that makes sense. And that's how the brain turns this guy back to the right way, even though the eye sees it upside down. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I find it interesting. So that's the human eye and the nature of the human eye. So we've gone over several questions. We've gone over the rainbow. I'll start with the beginning. We did the primary colours. Red, yellow, blue. Then we did the secondary colours. Orange, green, violet, okay, and then we did the colours of the rainbow. R-O-Y, G-B-I-V, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Okay, so those are the colours of the rainbow. Then we have the two parts of the eyes, one that sees colour, cones, colour, and rods, black and white. Okay, those are microscopic. Parts of eye. Okay, so you've got the cones, colour, and the rods, black and white. Then we have the eye, which sees the man. Giant eye looking at him, and then the actual eye, he is upside down. But then the connections to the brain, when the eye puts the messages, the images into the brain, it turns the man back round the right way. A miracle of the human brain. So there you are, you know, there's somebody walking on the street, and if you've got brain damage, something severed there, you would be watching everything upside down. That would be freaky. So luckily the brain has this marvellous ability to turn things round so we see them the right way. So that's it. So I'll put these questions up onto your emails, and you can email me back the answers or text me. And you'll do that, well, what do we've got, the Thanksgiving, so something around, you know, 29th, 30th of November. Okay, so really great to see you all. This is a simplified thing today, a quiz about the eye, perception of colour, and the rainbow and all that stuff. So I'll make it a very easy quiz. Everyone should be able to do it with no trouble whatsoever. Okay for now, and any questions you have to ask me about the second painting and what we're doing towards the last couple or so weeks of the semester, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I will answer you. Many of you have reached out to me about the second painting over the last week, and I've been very clear and slowly, gently explaining what's needed. So if any of you are in that position, don't hesitate to get in touch. All right, everyone, over and out for now. That's this week's art quiz.